I thought engagement meant it was final. The proposal I prayed for. From the beginning, everything about him seemed like an answered prayer. He was kind, he was respectful, he served in church, led intercessor in fact. He dressed well, quoted scripture like a pastor, prayed like a warrior. He found me during a time when I had finally given God full control over my love life. So when he proposed, it felt like a spiritual confirmation. He even got down on one knee after Sunday service, right in front of our church friends and mentors. My ring sparkled as bright as my smile. I whispered, yes, through tears. I remember thinking, this is it. The waiting is over. I didn't know that yes would be tested in ways I never imagined. Engagement planning or warfare. From the outside, we looked like the perfect Christian couple. Instagram stories with Bible study dates, joint prayers over Zoom, premarital counseling on weekends. But behind the godly image, things slowly started to shift. At first, it was the tone of his voice during disagreements. Then it became controlling opinions. I don't like when you post selfies. That dress is too attention seeking for a wife. Why do you need to go visit your friend alone? I thought, maybe he's just trying to protect me. Then came the subtle emotional manipulation. If you really submit, you wouldn't challenge my decisions. You're too sensitive. I was just correcting you. I started apologizing for things I didn't even do. Started keeping things from friends because I didn't want them to misunderstand him. Started praying more, but feeling peaceless. But God is spiritual, isn't he? One night during devotion, he told me, you'll need to reduce your ministry work when we marry. My wife's place is at home. Let me shine. I smiled politely, but inside my spirit trembled. I tried to justify everything. At least he's not cheating. At least he prays. At least he hasn't hit me. But one day during prayer, I heard a question so clear in my heart. Do you want a man who performs spirituality or a man whose character honors me when no one's watching? I froze. I had confused spiritual performance for spiritual maturity. The decision I didn't want to make. I delayed it for weeks, but the red flags became louder. He began ignoring my boundaries. He once threw my devotional notebook during an argument, then told me I was provoking him when I cried. I couldn't sleep at night. My joy was leaking, but I was holding on to a ring like it was a covenant. Finally, I reached out to my mentor. She looked at me and said something I'll never forget. Engagement is not a covenant. It's an evaluation, and you are allowed to walk away if peace no longer lives here. So I did. I returned the ring, told him calmly that I couldn't move forward. He called me dramatic, unsubmissive, spiritually blind. But for the first time in months, I felt peace. After the breakup, the shame was loud. The church whispers came quickly. Some said she'll regret it. God gave her a man and she threw it away. But I didn't throw it away. I gave it back to God, and God gave me back clarity, healing, freedom, what I know now. Engagement is not marriage. God doesn't call us to endure dysfunction in silence. Obedience may cost you your plans, but it will always protect your destiny. I thought engagement meant it was final, but I learned that peace is the true confirmation, not the ring, not the crowd, not even the proposal. To the woman who's unsure, don't ignore what your spirit is screaming about while your emotions are clapping. You can return the ring. You can choose peace over pressure, and you'll find out, just like I did. Sometimes the bravest yes to God begins with a painful no to what looks perfect.